it's all pretend, but facts will get high. Get ready for SmackDown. Get ready for SmackDown. They'll lie while the earth spins around. Watch out for SmackDown. They cling to ancient misconceptions. We've got truth in our possession. No room for doubt, no time to waste. It's time to put flat earth in its place. Here comes the SmackDown.
Welcome everybody to Tuesday night. I hope you're ready for a SmackDown. It's incoming right now. I am not at the VFW in Richfield, Minnesota. So the thumbnail suggested that might be the case, but DamascusSteel chose not to show up. So in case you're wondering, DamascusSteel has accepted a debate, has accepted an in-person debate. And I think it was yesterday morning, maybe it was the day before, was wanting to make it happen. Right. And I said, well, okay, well, since it's you probably can't get to Minneapolis by Tuesday, 2 days hence, or by tomorrow, what date works for you? I will happily choose a date in the future where we can do this. And instead he said, no, I need you to tell me the address of your studio where it's going to happen. I'm like, you're not in the Minneapolis area, but tell you what, send me an email with your flight, and I'll send you an Uber or Lyft coupon, so you don't even need to pay for the Uber, Lyft, whatever, to get to where we will be meeting for this in-person debate. Being generous like that. Well, no email was sent. Instead, just continued demands for the address of my studio. Now, studio, it's just an office in my home, and there's no way I'm giving a flat earther that's obviously mentally insane my home address. Of course not. So anyway, that was where it was yesterday. This morning, well, let me back up just a second so you can see some of these actual messages. I want you to see them here. I'll get them going. And DamascusSteel has been in the chat, but I will be putting a link. He or she has not sent me an email, so I don't know his or her email address. If I did, though, I would just send that right on over, but I don't have it. And all right, well, here is the acceptance. 1 day ago. 1 day ago. This was yesterday. I accept your live stream. Give me your address and I'll join you in your studio. Don't delete this comment too. This was yesterday. Hey, this is serious. Yesterday. Waiting on the address where we can all meet in a studio. Share. We can all do our live streams. Where's the address for tonight's live stream? That was this morning. This morning, DamascusSteel is demanding to know the address for tonight's live stream. So what did I do? You note this says 5 hours ago. So when I took the screenshot, it was 5 hours prior to when I took the screenshot, which was hold on. I can tell you. I can tell you what time it was in Central Time. It was at 2:59 p.m. Yep. 2:59 p.m. I took this screenshot today. 2:59 p.m. I took this today. Where is the address for tonight's live stream? So this was posted 5 hours prior to 2, so it's 3 o'clock, right? So 10 a.m. today, DamascusSteel wanted to know the address for tonight's live stream. So right away, I post the address where the live stream will be, where the studio will be tonight. This is the address for a VFW post in Richfield, Minnesota. It's a public place. I'm not scared to meet a flat earther, but I will never give them my home address. Why would? No, of course not. That's dumb. For example, DamascusSteel, you're not going to give me your home address, the basement of your mommy's trailer park. I understand you wouldn't do that. Your mom would not give you permission. Plus, you don't know your own address. You never drive yourself there. You're just in the back seat with your little plastic car going beep, beep, thinking you're really driving. Anyway, so I said, be there at 5:30 and send me an email. And so if he had sent me an email at 5:30, I would have jumped in my car, driven up to Richfield, and we would have had a meeting there in the VFW. Now I choose the VFW because I love veterans. And I know that the veterans that were in the Navy that did celestial navigation, well, they know that flat earthers are full of crap. And I know that the veterans that were in the Air Force, well, they know that the Air Force navigation uses the globe. So they know that flat earthers are full of crap. And the Army men that calculated the trajectories for long-range ballistic flights, well, they know that they need to include curvature of the Earth and rotation of the Earth. And so do the long-distance snipers, which are very few. But the ones that do like a mile or longer, they use Coriolis force. And the Marines, well, I just love the Marines. So if DamascusSteel, who is clearly mentally insane, showed up there and started doing the types of things that a mentally insane person might do, well, having a whole bunch of veterans around to kick his ass would be very nice. So that's why I choose the VFW. Anyway, and Unfornicated commented on one of them about, yep, veterans. Like, thank you. Unfornicated said Marines equals crayon eaters. That's not nice that they eat crayons. Anyway, so here is, so I got to, this is very clear. Where's the address for tonight's live stream? And I sent it. Within a couple minutes, I sent the address. So he can't complain. He was ready tonight to show up. But what does he do? He says, I never said I was in Minnesota. As usual, you haven't given anyone enough time to get there. But wait a second. Yesterday you wanted the address for today. This is you. You chose the date. I gave you the option in other comments to choose a different date. You didn't. You chose today. This is your choosing. Lying scum, filthy dirt piece of garbage flat earther. This is what flat earthers are. And part of the reason why I know that this is what flat earthers are is because there's no flat earthers coming around saying, wait a second, DamascusSteel, what the hell are you doing? You're making all flat earthers look like horrible, disgusting, filthy pigs. None of them are around there calling them out saying, hey, you piece of garbage, what's going on? Why are you doing that? They aren't there. They aren't doing that. Anyway, so I said, so when are you going to provide me the address of your studio so I can be there tonight to show you my face? This was DamascusSteel's words today. So you will be there, not someone else. I offered to schedule that at a later date. That worked for you to arrange to travel to Minneapolis. you refused the offer. Today you claimed that you would be at my studio tonight. You chose a date. I gave you the location. Are you saying you lied? And yes, DamascusSteel is claiming to have lied. Anyway, here is a recent comment by DamascusSteel on my YouTube channel. Waiting for me to start. Is he in the chat right now? And then here's another one. Now, I want you to look at that, this word here, right here, this word. See that word there? This is a strong word for somebody who's not currently in the chat. Now, maybe he's just waiting for the Zoom link. Could be just waiting for the Zoom link. So I'll tell you what, I'll grab a Zoom link. Now I'm going to put a Zoom link. It's only for DamascusSteel.
Recording in progress.
That's it. Nobody else. Let's go here. Copy invite link. And there it is. There is the link for DamascusSteel to join. So, in the live chat. Now, for somebody that would use this word right here, you damn well better show up. Because here's what happens. You get zero respect and you lose all latitude that you used to have if you don't show up tonight. So yes, that means Vicky treatment, if you know what that means. Now, I'm going to ask you, everybody that's that's dishing out the Vicky treatment, before you dish out the Vicky treatment, get a screenshot. And similarly, if you know the sock accounts. Now, DamascusSteel uses many sock accounts. So feel free to give the Vicky treatment to the same Vicky treatment with a screenshot to all other sock accounts. So here it is. Here we are, 13 minutes past, and nothing. Did you see what happened on Dave channel, says Harpy Moon. I did not see what happened on Dave channel. I don't know which Dave. There it is. Okay, DamascusSteel is in the chat right there. So DamascusSteel, the Zoom link is there. It's been posted. So you just need to click on that link. Now remember, Vicky treatment, people, until he decides to join. He has not yet joined. So be sure to hand out the Vicky treatment. I'm going to get that screenshot myself just before somebody else does it. There it is. All right. Joseph M2347 hopefully got the screenshot. Send that screenshot over. All right. Well, anyway, it's the Zoom link is right here. It's right there. This is the Zoom link right here. This right here. You just got to click that DamascusSteel. This is your chance. If you don't, then this word right here definitely doesn't apply to me. Definitely does not. So anyway, yeah. So Vicky treatment is when they start talking big, like they're going to join, talking smack, saying, "Oh, you're scared to debate me," and then they don't join. They get all of their messages get immediately deleted. And just asking you to get a screenshot and then send me the screenshots of them. So if you're the first one. So anyway, that's it. That's the thing. Place your bets. How long until Dumbass works out how to click a link? I am 100% certain that DamascusSteel will not be clicking the link. That's how certain I am that DamascusSteel is in fact speaking of himself right here, or herself. Now, what I mean by himself or herself, well, this is the page dedicated to DamascusSteel on my website. Mentally ill Flerf. Now, I'll say it very clearly. DamascusSteel, whoever the person is behind this, is mentally ill. Mental illness is a real thing. I need to, I want to just be sure that it's treated with the appropriate care. At some point in the past, 50s, 60s, maybe 1950s and 60s, until some point when some budgeting things and some rules changed, there were a lot of people in asylums, and they were housed involuntarily. And there are plenty of rotten things that happened in asylums. Not defending the horrible treatment that some people had, but also at the same time, there was enough budget and enough beds for a lot of people that did need it. And so now, things have drastically changed. The people that are involuntarily housed in asylums are the bar is pretty high to get them in there, as it should be. It should be high. But there are many people that I think could be better served if they were in them. So, and it's a problem. Is mental illness on the rise, or is it just more visible because of social media? I suspect it's more visible because of social media. But certainly people like DamascusSteel qualify. At least in my head, that's my opinion of it. So anyway, so here are some of the known sock accounts of DamascusSteel here. And there are more. And if you look at the comment section of my videos, you can tell, because, DamascusSteel will pop in, and then John Thompson will come in and say something, in response, like talking to themselves as if they're the same person, but they're always paired up, right? All these tend to be all grouped up, and they always are on the same topic. Always, right? It's not like John Thompson is in there saying, "Hey, how come this?" And then DamascusSteel is over somewhere else talking about a different topic, right? They're talking about the same topic. DamascusSteel likes to pretend that he or she wants to show up at a beach somewhere and measure the size of the sun. Of course, just do it yourself. Go measure the size of the sun yourself and post the video. I've done it, and I've got. There's no better one than what we did in Antarctica. So I'll play that here for you. And this is from Dave McKeegan. And so this is a full 24 hours. So the sun went from north all the way around to south and back to north in 24 hours. And so that's what this is. 1 frame per minute. So it's sped up significantly. So, we got another DamascusSteel message here. Oh, no, I said it was my opinion, you mentally ill person. You missed that part because you don't listen well. Just like in school, you didn't listen well. Anyway, so this is 1 full circuit of the sun around us while in Antarctica. So once we started here, and I'll jump it ahead 12 hours, there's 12 hours later. You'll notice the sun is the same size. The sun does not vary in angular width throughout the day. Now, this is with the solar filter. Flat earthers being incredibly dishonest people, hating the truth. Flat earthers hate the truth. They do not properly expose photographs when they get video or pictures of the sun. You'll notice you can see the sunspots. If you can see the sunspots, then almost certainly you have exposed the photo correctly. If you don't see sunspots, then you probably have not exposed it. So it is possible to have a solar filter on a camera and still be overexposed, and so the width isn't correct. So anyway, this is it here. So you can go to any beach in the world you want. It doesn't touch this 24 hours of the sun. Now you'll notice this is even cooler. Look at the sunspots moving. The sunspots move throughout the day because the sun rotates. And it also, the angle of it tips little because the earth rotates. 2 things happening at the same time. And what kind of idiocy is this? You can't zoom in on an object 93 million miles away. Of course you can. What a stupid thing to say. Thank you, DamascusSteel, for proving that flat earthers are stupid. You've done a great job and a benefit to humanity by proving that flat earthers are dumb. I appreciate it. Anyway, back to this here. Here are the known sock accounts, and there's a few more. I'll add those others. If you know of others, send me screenshots of them, people. Discord DM, Facebook DM, or an email. Best ways to do it. If you tag me somewhere, I probably won't see it. Okay. Anyway, this is this page here is just documentation of the demands for the in-person debate today, and then what happened this morning. So, also this is great. I love this one right here. I have updated the page dedicated to exposing your mental illness, John Thompson the Great, which is also DamascusSteel. And then John Thompson the Great / DamascusSteel says that will make for a good lawsuit. And I say file that lawsuit immediately. And give the address where you can send it right there. So go ahead, file that lawsuit. There's the address that you can direct it to. Okay, thank you very much for that. Be sure to do that. You'll be doing that, right? Please do that. I want to hang it on my wall. That's what I'm going to do. Hang it on the wall. Yeah, now this is an interesting thing. I've had several times that flat earthers have been on, and then relatives have called me or contacted me or messaged me or emailed me after, and then given me like, oh yeah, you know, like a little, sometimes it's even just a little cathartic, like complaining to somebody that understands a little bit. Like just to talk about, oh, he's crazy, he's insane. And since falling into flat earth, like you can't have a conversation with him, and basically doesn't come around except for the holidays, and it's really cold, he doesn't talk, and he leaves right away or whatever. Well, one of them, I'm not going to say who, out of respect, they requested. He had been watching the debate that his brother was on, and his brother was getting humiliated constantly, over and over. But this guy that I was on the phone with him, and he was telling me about his brother, right? But he was a worker that worked on a phone with other men. That's what this guy did. That was his what he did. And he's like, I recognize subspace. Now this was a new term for me. I didn't know what it was. He's like, that was what his brother was in. He was getting humiliated, and that was getting him excited. That's what he liked. And so then he like excused himself. He excused himself quickly, and he's like, yeah, he was nearing completion and needed to duck out so that he could finish. That's what his brother thought was happening based on his career. Anyway, so that could be DamascusSteel's shtick. So he says, so after the live stream starts, you give the address of the live stream. That makes no sense at all. The address of this live stream was posted a few hours ago, and you were in the live chat of that live stream. So I don't know what you're talking about, the address of the live stream. That makes no sense. Typical for a person that's mentally ill. Wow. Anyway, Zoom link is there. It's up there. You can't see it on the screen, but it's up there. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. It could be that DamascusSteel slash the boss slash the final X, Buckshot, John Thompson, Mike Roberts, Bob's wife, Paul Johnson, and a few others has that kind of a thing. And that's how he or she gets off. But anyway. But yeah, I posted the address. You know, I mean, you're not playing word games around this. This was this morning. Give me your address. Right? Or that wasn't this morning. This was yesterday. Waiting on the address. So we can all meet in a studio. What's the address for tonight's live stream? This was you today, DamascusSteel. Today, you said today you wanted to be in. So I never said I was in Minnesota. As usual, you haven't given anyone enough time to get there. But you wanted the address for today to meet up today. Oh my goodness. Anyway. All right. Well, I see spin. I'll take that. All right. Hold on. Let me do this. There it is. All right. Well, I've got Icy Spin has sent me something I'm downloading right now. So, anyway, I've got the Zoom link. Just click on that Zoom link there, DamascusSteel, unless you're scared. I guess you could be, and I will understand that you're scared, and I will know why you're scared because you have no evidence. Anyway, Nugs Automation says Toon. Thank you very much. Lots of O's. Icy Spins sent 5 MCToon Live gift memberships. Thank you so much for that. Icy Spin. Jim Daniels, Jack's brother, says, hip yeah, let's roll. We're rolling, but you know who didn't? You know who rolled away? Yeah, the Flerf. The Flerf rolled away. Brenda Create says, I am shocked. Shocked, I tells ya. Of course. Lord Illuminous Pooh says, I saw Rise of the Mentally Ill. You could have just called me Pooh. Nice. Alyssima Aviation said, how could you leave Steele at the bar? He claimed he was there already multiple times. So yet another live from him. Classic. I didn't see where he claimed he was actually at the bar. It's not just a bar, it's a restaurant too. It's got a pretty good restaurant and meeting area. I didn't see that though. I don't know. He said he was in the live chat a few times, but that's not in the bar. So I don't know. Maybe there's a misunderstanding. Shedsy49 says, I'm at the VFW to watch. Where are you? No, you're not. Evil Producer 1 says, instead of an Uber, you should have sent the short bus. Oh my gosh. Exactly. Oh, did he come back with more derp? He said, don't need any evidence. You can see it. All you have to do is look and you'll see it. Oh, I did look. I did look for evidence. This is what I found. The size of the sun does not change. And that means that either while in Antarctica, if the sun is local, then it's always the same distance from me while I'm in Antarctica, which is of course ridiculous because the angular size of the sun is well measured, has been well measured for decades. It's just over half of a degree in angular size. And it doesn't vary by hardly at all. It varies by 1,000th of a degree or something like that. So that means that it's far away. That's what we must conclude, right? That's the only geometry allowed by applying the law of perspective. So I did look and I did see the angular size of the sun does not vary. You see, and I even brought evidence for it. And flat earthers say you don't need evidence, and then they have nothing other than just empty, baseless claims. And that's how you know they're mentally ill. That's what mentally ill people do. They make baseless claims expecting everybody to believe it, in direct contradiction to real evidence. Lord Illuminous Pooh says, only crazies argue with sock accounts. Said the sock account. But don't tell Tim. Tim Davidson says, actually, Pooh, happens more than you think. See, I love this. All right. We know what's happening between Lord Illuminous Pooh and Tim Davidson. Right. We do. It's fun. It's a shtick. DamascusSteel and all of his other sock accounts, same thing. Same thing. Anyway, not in the Zoom call. Where are you? Where's the Zoom call? Jack Better says, I do recall a huge flop back in 2013 when McDonald's tried marketing the McPlussy. Huge fail. Oh my gosh. I don't know how that would be a fail. I think that a lot of people would be like, oh, you say, all right, well, let's go. Lord Luminous Pooh says, for tonight's menu, we have chicken breast and a yellow sauce with a lack of nuts. Must be allergic. Courtesy of DM Steel. Yes. A chicken breast in yellow sauce with a lack of nuts. Scotty Orange says, oops, all baseless claims. Yeah, that's what they have. All right. Well, while we wait for the chicken to click on the link, whatever could we do?
What time is it? It's time to phone a flip.
One ringy dingy.
Sorry, no one's here to take your call. Please leave your name and number. Thank you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Hey, CC, biggest fan. MCToon here. Just calling. I called you on Friday. You called me back, buddy. You called me back yesterday morning. Oh, I was touched. CC, when you called me back, you didn't leave me a voicemail. That's okay. Just the fact that you called me is all that matters. I know that you care. Anyway, CC, just calling. Wanted to say hi, a little chit chat. So yeah, that's it. Answer. Let's catch up sometime. Love you. Bye. Nothing from him. Well, all right. We'll have to call the other one then. That we know. We know he's the one we love.
Sorry, no one's here to take your call.
No.
Please leave.
No, not that one. Hold on. Not that one. This one right here. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. All right. There we go. All right. All right. Let's go. Do. Come on, Mikey. You can do it, Mikey. If it wasn't for you, Mikey, we wouldn't have this channel. This channel wouldn't even exist.
Hey, it's Mike. Leave it after the beep, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks. Bye-bye.
After leaving a message, you can hang up or press pound for more options.
Hey, Mikey. Oh, man, my channel exists only because you do. If it wasn't for you, I would have nothing, Mikey. You know that. Anyway, just calling to check in, say hi. We'll catch you later. Bye. All right. Oh, I forgot to say that. I loved him. Oh, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? All right. I got one more. I got one more that I'm going to try. Probably. Okay. This is it. This is the. Hold on. Come on. Enter a number. There it is. There. Calling.
This call is being routed by Google. The cost of this call is 1 cent per minute.
It's an international call. That may tell you something.
Buzón de voz. Tu llamada está siendo transferida y se cobrará al terminar los tonos siguientes.
Too bad. That was going to be Santos. Santos, Santos the piss drinker. Sometimes Mikey calls back, but not yet tonight. So he's been having a rough go of it, and there has been movement on the court case. There has been movement, and as soon as I have visual evidence of it, a scan of I will hopefully that day go over it. Hopefully. So, all right. The sun is 93 million miles away, but the camera doesn't dictate its ability to zoom in and capture anything contingent on its distance. But I guess its size. The sun looks pretty big from Earth. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Damascus. Oh, here it is. Let's see what kind of nonsense. So when you're going to arrange a meetup on a beach to prove your 24-hour sun claim, there is no 24-hour sun from most beaches. The only beaches that have 24-hour sun are I suppose there's a couple in the Arctic. Couple beaches in the Arctic, though they're not very beach-like. And of course, there's some in the around the perimeter of Antarctica as well. But again, I'm not going to be going to any of those beaches for the 24-hour sun. Or are you going to chase all this nonsense forever and run away from that challenge? I don't need to. I already documented it. So the challenge that you're talking about, I've already done. I already posted it already in this video. I've played it. So my part has been accomplished already. I don't need to do anything else for that challenge. Check, my part done. You know whose part hasn't been done? DamascusSteel's part hasn't been done. So I have nothing left to do. You do. Now, whether or not we are both on that same beach at the same time is immaterial. Just because, and here's what happens. Just like today, where you said you were going to be there, and then you were not there. Well, if I say let's meet at this beach at this time, we all know that you won't be there. We all know that. From Jason says, I'm around if you end up talking about the celestial satellite. If you'd like me to hop on for a bit, DM me a join link. I might take you up on that. So I have, there it is. This is the Jesse Path of Light Challenge that I'm prepping. I'm moving it right now. Oh, it's a gig in size. Thank you for that giant are very, very largely compressed, high quality. So, Jay Donachie says, I remember the McPussy, but they didn't offer it in a Happy Meal. They just offered it with happy ending. Oh my goodness. That's very naughty. I can't believe you said that. I didn't laugh at that. I was laughing at a different joke I thought about earlier. Totally unrelated. Truth Nerd says, typical Flerf, all hat, no cattle. Absolutely. Evil Producer 1, how many sock accounts does Wankzoid need? A lot. I mean, lots of sock accounts is something I've noticed in the severely mentally ill people. You see it with Jenny, the sock account queen on Facebook. She has 8 documented sock accounts. I also have there's a page on the Flerf Wiki documenting them and linking them all together. Oh, look, there's Dick Wayne. How you doing? Says, when you look like you do, you really should think twice before any trash talking others. Just saying. It says to Wesley. What? Really? How do you know what Wesley looks like there, Dick Wayne? That wasn't nice. I'm not gonna complain one bit. About them timing you out for that. All right. I just needed to do. All right. I got it prepped. So let me get it going and I'll play it. And then Jesse, maybe I'll send Jesse a link since DamascusSteel has no, DamascusSteel is like, is like a group of steers. No balls. Okay. Here we go.
Pages of Schopenhauer's essay. The issue of objective truth is inexpedient if your only aim is to change someone's mind,
Is this the right spot, Icy Spin?
or to win at any cost. And you would be surprised at just how often people trade in honesty, logic, and consistency for a slim shot at glory. Of course, a much more important skill than knowing how to deceive someone into thinking that you're correct is how to actually critically analyze both someone else's views and your own. And click here to watch my video on that very topic. And stick around for more on thinking to improve your life.
Damn. What an excellent video.
That was fire.
Very reminiscent of a lot of the things that we deal with. And these types of tactics and ways to make sure that a conversation never reaches resolution is something that can happen on both sides, right?
Yeah, flat earthers do that. Yeah, that's really the thing. They don't want to actually do any real stuff.
This isn't just mutually exclusive to people that believe that the earth is a globe or anything. Like, I don't want to present that kind of narrative of it, but what these are just things to look out for when engaging in these conversations, and why they appear to go nowhere when there's, when XYZ has been introduced and then there's never any resolution.
Yeah, well, we measured, the radius of the Earth centuries ago using surveying techniques. We've got photographs, many thousands of photographs of the Earth from space. It's pretty solid.
How it's been prevented. And then, recently going through 20 weeks of this, I saw a lot of this to an insane degree. So I couldn't make sense of why or how it was.
Oh, well, let's see. Hold on. Here we go. Unlike DamascusSteel and other flat earthers, I can support my claim. So here we go. Your 24 sun claim, I don't claim there's 24 suns, is that the light in the sky is the sun you claim is 93 million miles away. Of course it is. Yep. You have yet to prove that, and your claim has been dismissed by the scientific community and the media. No, it hasn't. The scientific community and the media have embraced it. So you gotta lie to Flerf. He's a Flerf, so he's lying. That's what they do. So prove that it's 93 million miles away. Okay. MCToon.net/sun. Here we go. It's been done before. Radar Echoes from the Sun is the title of the publication. Where this particular radar array was used to send radar to the sun. It bounced off and came back. And so here's the write-up. So, not going to read it. Just go to mctoon.net/sun, and you can peruse it at your leisure. They describe the setup there. They had a 40 kilowatt output radar, and what was the frequency is in here. Frequency isn't super critical to the discussion. It was chosen for a reason. There it is, 30 megacycles per second. There it is, 30 megahertz. 30 megahertz. So anyway, the big deal is how long it took. This took between 960 seconds and 1,000 seconds for the signal to come back. This is the signal that they got back. They sent a sawtooth signal like that. See that? And then these are time delayed. So that's what so they got these back. Pretty cool. They got these amazing echoes back. And you can see these shapes here, not perfect. No measurement is perfect. These shapes are not the shapes that you get normally from the sun. They only get these shapes when they are sending the radio signals to the sun, and then they come back bounced with that same pattern. So yeah, you see this, you know, of course that there's some noise bursts and things at times, but look at that, these nice patterns. Amazing stuff. Well, that's one. And you know, you want stuff to be repeatable. So this one here, they sent it at 38 megahertz in 1966. So about 7 years later, they did 1,000 daily radar experiments since 1961. So between 1961 and 66, when they published this, they sent radar signals to the sun 1,000 times. 1,000 times. And here is the write-up on that. Guy's name is Jesse James. How awesome is that? Jesse James. Anyway, same thing. He talks about the background information, talks about how these signals are reflected because of the ionosphere of the sun. And then they don't have quite the prettiest pictures like the other one, the diagrams. But anyway, so here they talk about the details. You can read it at your own leisure. The important thing is, for the distance to the sun, is the amount of time that it took. And here I wrote this up here, between 960 and 1,000 seconds. So 1,000 seconds, 960 seconds, taking the mean, we get 980 plus or minus 20 seconds. That's our baseline there for the amount of time. We've got the speed of light, just about 300 million meters per second. And so then we just apply a little bit of basic algebra. This is 9th grade algebra. If you can't handle 9th grade algebra, you may be a Flerf. And that gives you 146 million kilometers. And here's your boundaries, your 143 to 149 for your distance to the sun right there. And that's between 89 million and 93 million miles. So there you go. Right there, 93 million miles right inside the margin of error, the error bars. Perfect. Awesome. So there you go. I did what flat earthers can't do. I provided evidence, measurement of the distance to the sun, something no flat earther has ever done successfully. All right. There it is. All right. Back to this. Okay. You see how easy it is to destroy you. Why is cosmic conspiracy for life getting timed out? I don't think he's doing bad stuff. And be careful with Dick Wayne. Dick Wayne is okay, mostly. Geez, what do you say? Is cosmic? I don't think cosmic conspiracy for life is a flatty. I was reading in the chat before. DamascusSteel says radar can't bounce off a ball of fire. Well, thank you very much, DamascusSteel, for adding to the documentation that flat earthers are idiots. The sun is not a ball of fire. There you go. All that you've done with that is show that you're stupid. And here's the question. Why are there no flat earthers out there whenever flat earthers say stupid things like that? Where are the other flat earthers that know that's wrong? Saying, wait a second, you're making flat earthers look bad. They're not there. They don't call them out for saying dumb things. They just let them. Why is that? Cosmic Conspiracy said, time me out. Well, okay. Yeah, all right. I don't know why. All right. I will make Cosmic Conspiracy for Life a mod. Ooh, made you the wrong kind of mod. Hold on. Gave you too much mod. So I'm going to take, so you'll get a message. You might get a message that it was taken away. And then I'll add you as a regular mod. Add as moderator, standard moderator. There you go. Okay. There you go. All right. Yeah, DamascusSteel, why are you not clicking the link?
Happening, and it was like, oh well, there's a playbook of how to, like, this is how to ensure that
Ooh, I've got Rajesh Kumar who wants to join. Hello, Rajesh Kumar. Hello, Rajesh Kumar. Hello?
Listen.
Rajesh?
I think someone sent me the wrong.
I don't know who you are, Rajesh. No, I'm not Professor something something. Who are you, Rajesh? What are you doing with your terrible connection? Are you calling me on a potato?
I think so.
All right, bye.
Have a good one.
Apparently somebody sent Rajesh Kumar the link and shouldn't have. Whatever. Man, he totally described Flerfs. Oh, you can't hear. Oh, sorry.
Nail on the head when you said XYZ. I think
I was just sitting here listening, and you didn't hear anything. That's okay. There was nothing to hear. It's just those derpers, Alan and Shane, and being dumb, and yeah.
that in itself, by itself, holds its own weight. If people can understand that everything mathematically is based upon XYZ, then there's no curve to that. Then I think that's just definitively the nail in the coffin overall. On all scales.
Slight misinterpretation of what I said, but I appreciate the sentiment.
So what you're saying is,
I'm just saying the XYZ is just,
Right.
I mean, you can't go from there.
Pay close attention to when someone says, so what you're saying is, and if it's not even close to anything you said, like, give them like the benefit of the doubt on the first one, give them a little correction. But when they do it again and again and again, it never resembles anything close to what you said. It's not because they don't understand it. It's because they don't want people listening to understand it, which is alarming.
Well, it's a fine line too. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
Goodness, they are describing flat Earth echo chambers.
I was pretty much done.
Well, I was just trying to jump in. I was excited because I was going to say it's a fine line between like a straw man or a steel man. Because if what you're saying, is this what you're saying? It could be a straw man. And it's like, no, it's not what I was saying at all. Or it could be an honest, good faith attempt at a steel man. So
instead of saying what you're saying, you say, what do you mean by blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's between, are you asking clarifying questions or are you trying to muddy the water? As that guy said, you can employ the Socratic method both ways, right? Double-edged sword.
Yeah. And there's just books on this stuff.
Rhetoric and sophistry.
Yeah. Here, I'll post this one from this playbook.
I got a question, if I may.
Ooh, here comes Jesse.
Who are you asking permission?
They don't like it when Jesse.
And you're not going to use any of those tactics, right? That were just in the video. You're gonna
when Jesse talks.
What's up? Sorry. One second. Let me turn his volume up in a second here. So no, actually, we're not going to be engaging with Jesse anymore. So 2 weeks ago, when we were going over the math to the celestial theodolite, he was while we were talking about it on voice, he was in the text chat telling people that we wouldn't give him the math. We absolutely refused to. Mike and I both sent him PDFs with the math that we use. He's known the math the whole time. He's built spreadsheets on it. He tells people that we're doing the math wrong. So you would obviously have to know the math if you're going to tell people it's wrong. So that's another one. And then on top of that, right, he starts live streaming notes. He's like asking me for the equations. I'm giving them to him on voice. He has the equations displayed on the screen while telling people that we're not giving him any equations. And then the following week, I released the, what was it called? The notation index guide. We went over all that where I went over.
Look at this. DamascusSteel says 500 people watching. Is that all you have left watching your channel? When all you can do is try to humiliate people to make people agree with you. No, you humiliated yourself. And DamascusSteel, to my knowledge, 500 people watching live is 500 more than you have watching any of your live streams ever. So, pretty good, I think.
Over all the math exactly. All the equations that were in that were the equations that were on his screen that day. So this is no, I'm not dealing with that ever. That's so absurd. And I watched Witsit deal with it for years, trying to logically do it and show the contradictions and all that. There's no consequence to it. It's just every week, same thing. I'm not dealing with it. So no, you're not participating in the conversation. And on top of that, you were like, what was the other thing? with the ratio of refraction. And you've known about that the whole time. And you act like that refutes our position. It doesn't at all. When I go to tell everyone about that, suddenly you know what I'm talking about. Like, you feign ignorance. You do everything in that video to an insane degree, and there's no consequence to it. The only consequence is that I ban you from the conversation. So that can't be done anymore. I go over my position with John a couple weeks ago. He ends by saying that's a nice bunch of words, and then wants to reiterate his position in the middle of me talking, or trying to explain mine. Like, this whole thing is a put up. There's no explanation for why these stars are at a higher angle when they get occluded. And this has been completely overshadowed by endless nonsense. Like, all these tactics that were basically put in, or that were shown in this video, is what transpires every week.
Hey, Gio, are you going to let him attack my character without letting me respond?
You can respond all you want. I have you muted. You're not going to be listening to anything said here. You can respond, and then after that, you're not going to be participating anymore.
From Jesse or the Southern Hemisphere? I'm not sure which one.
Well, what you can do is you can go to right here. We can go to this live stream. We can go to, see, this one was that one.
Pretty classic echo chamber behavior there from Alan.
We can go here.
You gotta draw the line somewhere.
Was this the one we ended on? Yeah, I can't do this every week. It's insane. And he's like, what's your, what was the part? Let's see. Yeah, I'll have to find which one it was. Second. Yeah, right here. From the actual point that the star was quote unquote below the celestial horizon, meaning that it would have been below.
All right. Jesse is waiting to join. I'm going to have him join here. and he can. We can get a little more firsthand from Jesse himself. So in case you don't know, Jesse Gordon, or Jesse Path of Light, is the one that they were talking to, that they will not allow to engage with them on their open mic Q&A session. Jesse, they can hear you if you talk. How you doing? Good to see you.
Good. Let me turn you up. You're quiet for me on Zoom.
All right. I can fix it if you need.
Oh, no. I got a slider for you.
Okay.
Say hi.
Hi.
Now I can hear you. I muted the YouTube and...
Wow.
Good.
I didn't even feel myself get slid. Pretty good. All right. Well, DamascusSteel is supposed to be here. But he even was so brave that he pretended like he was going to show up in person.
Oh, wow. That would be nice.
But can't even show up on Zoom. So, yeah. Anyway.
Well, if he shows, I will just slither off.
I think we're safe.
Oh, probably.
Never has more cowardice been packed into one human than in DamascusSteel.
What would you like? My side of what Alan just raved about me showing the screen share and that whole little thing?
I would love it.
Okay. Well, so in the beginning with the celestial theodolite, it had huge errors on most of the measurements, exceeding 2,000 feet on the worst of them, and on some of them actually matching the globe.
So people probably don't know what the celestial theodolite. How about you say it? They don't know what it is.
The autolite. The autolite.
Celestial theodolite.
Yeah.
And so people don't know who you are. First of all, Jesse is a glober. He's very smart, knows what he's doing, and has one of two people, I think, that have really, maybe a couple more, have really put in the effort to understand what it is, the deceptions behind the celestial theodolite that the guys from the Ether Cosmology group have been spending the last nearly year on.
I can think of John Malencroft, who also has dug that deep into it.
Okay.
But most people don't, because it's just too complex and they don't want to bother.
Yeah. And that's one of the newer tactics that the flat earthers are trying to do. They take a topic, rather than doing something that's just regular, go measure reciprocal zenith angles, or see if there is something that is blocked bottom up, or just figure out the rough approximate azimuth angle of the sun. No. None of that simple stuff. Let's think up something exceedingly complex. Ignore refraction for some reason, and then make it even more complicated when it gets discussed that it's got some issues.
Well, Dr. Heffron, who is the guy that invented this method, claims that it's what caused him to become a flat earther, but when you listen to his early, accounts of what took place, is first he tried doing it correctly with stellarium placed at the observer location with atmospheric refraction turned on, but it gave globe results, so he didn't like that. So then he turned off refraction. That made it worse. And so then he tried moving it to the peak of the mountain, telling stellarium observer was on the peak of the mountain where the observer wasn't. And then for certain mountains, that sort of matched the flat earth prediction. A lot it didn't, but for certain ones it did. So then he took that and ran with it. So he actually, contrary to what he says, actually started out trying to force fit it to flat earth.
So he had, like typical, had pre-selected the conclusion, and then just started hunting until he could find something that matched, even no matter what he had to do to the ends justify the means. So screw everything up so that you could conclude that conclusion.
Yeah, so basically, I'll just go over it real quick. Basically, if you have, the observer here and a mountain peak here, the idea was to take and watch a star setting down, and when it disappeared behind the mountain peak, then put your location and the star and the time into Stellarium, and it would tell you the elevation angle to the star, which his idea was, well, that must match the elevation angle to the mountain. And it didn't, because astronomic refraction changes the angle to the star quite a bit at those low angles. So that's why he started messing around with turning off refraction and then moving Stellarium to where it wasn't. And the reason moving it to the mountain peak worked is because on a globe, when you move towards a star, it rises at 1 degree per 60 nautical miles, right?
Yeah.
So because the star was too low for the flat Earth prediction because of Earth curve drop, he needed to compensate for Earth curve drop. So he moved Stellarium forward, taking advantage of that 1 degree per 60 nautical miles to raise that star angle back up in Stellarium to get what he wanted. But it only worked if the mountain peak was at the correct number of miles to give the correct number of degrees of rise.
Yeah, so you can force the output.
Right. If you can choose the distance and elevation difference to the mountain, you can get whatever outcome you like. And so he thought he got it solved, but then he did a bunch more measurements. I did some measurements, and it turns out they were all over the map, all over the globe. So some of them, the worst ones for being too high, were Greenhorn Mountain, where the results from his method yielded in excess of 2,000 feet over the published height. And at first they said, well, the published height must be wrong. And I says, well, then there would be a lot of airplanes stuck in there, wouldn't there?
Yeah, it's pretty high claim to declare that the surveyed height of a mountain is wrong. Like, they know better than the surveyors that actually did the work there, because they think the Earth is flat. Yeah.
Well, and if a mountain was 2,000 feet higher than was listed on all the aeronautical charts, there would be so many airplanes running into it over a 100-year period.
Yeah.
It could not go unnoticed. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
So, and then once I figured out the algorithm, I found a place that would give globe results. And so I went there at 25 miles from a mountain in my area and filmed a bunch of stars emerging, actually. And so using their method then gave globe angles, which kind of makes their method invalid. If it can give globe or flat, you can't really tell, use it to tell the difference between the one or the other.
It doesn't differentiate.
And so they were all mad because I intentionally went to a place where I expected globe results. They said it was cherry picking, but I said, well, Dr. Mike said that he tried to refute his hypothesis and was unable to. And I said, so what's wrong with me trying to refute it, right?
Well, it's not cherry picking, because if the geometry works no matter where you are. It always works. So, for example, feel free to attempt to cherry pick the azimuth and zenith angles to the sun for flat Earth.
Right, exactly. There's nothing to pick from. Yeah, and that's what I told him. I told him, I'm not hiding a whole bunch of the data set and only showing you part of it. I'm adding to the overall data set.
Yeah.
But anyway, so once they became aware of these huge errors, then they were trying to figure out what to do. At first, Dr. Heffron was adding in fudge factors for each and every one to make them match flat Earth. So he was, whatever time the star was actually occluded, he would add or subtract up to 2 or 3 minutes to correct the angle given by Stellarium in order to make it match the flat Earth. And then I submitted a hypothetical. I says, okay, I'm going to give you a hypothetical occlusion. Let's say you measured, let's say there was a cloud over a certain mountain, several thousand feet above the mountain, and you had a false early occlusion. Would you be able to differentiate between that and a real occlusion? He said yes, and so I gave him the data, and he couldn't. His correction method corrected even a known false occlusion that he knew was false. I wasn't deceiving him, but I was testing his algorithm, his correction method, and his correction method corrected even that to match a flat Earth perfectly, even though it was a false angle. So then we started kind of complaining to Alan, and that kind of created some heat between Alan and Dr. Heffron, because Alan could see that it was not a good idea to be just putting in per measurement fudge factors.
Yeah.
So they kind of have pushed Dr. Heffron into the background now, and Alan's got his own spreadsheet, and he's kind of doing his own thing. And does not have.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
So, and he does not have and Alan does not have the fudge factors. He's just got the errors, but he's put in like 8 different ways that he incorrectly predicts globe drops, so that he can show that none of them match the globe using his bad math, and so therefore they must be closer to flat Earth. And then he's straight up misrepresenting the expected globe drop in the case of the Blinn Mountain ones, the ones I did that matched the globe, which he knows matched the globe because he and I have been over that.
If I can interrupt for a second. DamascusSteel hilariously says the sun shrinks to nothing as it sets and then disappears above the horizon. You can see this every day. All you have to do is go watch it for yourself. I've done it for myself. That is not what happens.
Well, he went and watched it for himself too on Dave Weiss's video that was out of focus.
Yeah, on Dave Weiss's video. I've done that at the beach in Florida, watched the sun not shrink to a point.
Yep.
I've watched the sun be the same angular width before it begins being obstructed by the horizon. And then when it's vertically half obstructed by the horizon, the widest part of it is the same width as it was before, but you only see the top part of the sun. How did that happen? It's not shrinking to a dot. It's being obstructed by the horizon. Flat earthers love to lie. Anyway, do continue.
Oh, thank you. So, anyway, where was I about in there? Something about, Alan and his spreadsheet.
Yes.
So he knows that my Blinn Mountain from Edith's Hook data set matches the globe because he and I went over it extensively when I did the measurement. But now he's changed his math so that it no longer matches the globe in his spreadsheet.
Oh.
So he's straight up misleading people intentionally. And so of course, whenever I try to bring it up and you heard him even back then in this video you played say he's just going to mute me. And that's what he's been doing is every time it's open Q&A, he just mutes me. But regarding what he said about me saying that he didn't give him the formula, this is the context to that. As I said, Dr. Heffron had all these fudge factors, and Alan didn't like those, so Alan did his own spreadsheet without the fudge factors. And so then I was confronting Alan about the huge errors, saying basically, look, if the method doesn't work, I says, I'm not asking to give up flat Earth. I'm just saying if the method doesn't work, don't tell people it works, right?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work every time, it's not reliable. It doesn't work. And then one day he's like, "Don't worry, we've solved it. We've corrected the method so it gives the correct answers."
Really? I'm sure it did.
And he's like, "Wait till Monday, and we'll go over it." I'm like, "Good, okay." You got something that at least makes itself coherent, right? And
So
but
just
he didn't.
just for reference, Alan Space Audits, who in a debate with me put up some trigonometry on screen.
Oh, let's see that. Do you have that handy?
I do have that available.
That was prime Alan, the essential Alan.
It was so goofy. All right. I think, yeah, I have it right here. There it be. All right. So there it is. I'll share it to you so you see it.
I have the YouTube up also, and it's just muted, but it's delayed. So, I see it on YouTube.
There it is. Yeah.
Yep.
The hypotenuse distance, which is the distance to star, is 60 degrees. The hypotenuse is a length, not an angle. And then he uses adjacent, which is an unlabeled distance on here. See that? No distance provided.
Yep.
Right? Over the hypotenuse, which is what? An angle, not a distance, equals 0.5. I don't know how he got that. He must have thought that the adjacent, this one here, right? Think about this, Jesse. In order for the adjacent, this value here, divided by the hypotenuse to equal 0.5, and we know the value here is 60 degrees. What would the adjacent have to be? 100,
I'm not sure.
120.
I'm sorry. It's a 90 and
30.
it's a 60.
No, 30. It'd have to be 30.
Right.
So this length here is the length of the adjacent must be 30 degrees. Anyway, so and well, look at that. He puts it right here. Adjacent equals 30 degrees. So it's just it's not an angle. This is Alan. Alan, his presentation in a debate. He presented this. Yeah, good job, Alan.
He does rely heavily on AI and often doesn't understand it, or it doesn't understand him.
No,
so
he does not understand. Well, the thing is, flat earthers use AI to try to do the hard work for them, right? To prove for them, to support their claims of the shape of the earth, right? And of course, AI knows that it's not flat, and so it's got to, it's going to come up with garbage, no matter what. It can't come up with reality. So
yeah, you've had Gleam on, right?
Yes.
Today he got Brock so confused that because he forced it to calculate the obstructed bottom-up obstruction on a ship on a flat Earth.
Yeah.
And somehow he got it to get the slope to a wave that was below the eye level.
Okay.
Which would be a negative slope angle.
Yeah.
And then Grok forgot that was negative and used it as positive, and then calculated an absurd bottom-up obstruction on a flat surface. It was so silly.
Well, Gleam knows the Earth is a globe.
Yeah, I know.
And he does that. He's just such a contrarian that he just can't not side with the flatties. But he's the one that introduced this curved visual space.
Is he where Witzik got it?
Yeah. It was all Gleam that put all of those. A handful of them, but there's really just a couple that kind of bubbled to the top. And he also introduced a bunch of the ether garbage too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Alan's gripe that I was saying I didn't get the formula. The context was that he had told me that they had solved the errors in the method and led me to believe that there was a new formula that corrected for those errors. But he would not give it to me.
Oh, wow.
Now, it turned out that there was no such correction, because months later he still has those same errors. But at the time, I believed that he did have another formula, and I knew he was not giving it to me. And so that's why after his show, I went live on Earth Awakenings and showed the formulas I had and showed that they had huge errors and said that he would not give me the formulas that corrected those huge errors. And so that's what that was all about. And ever since then, he's been so mad at me. As soon as I start to speak in the open Q&A time, he just mutes me.
Interesting. Yeah, he one of the things, of course, that he's relying on is that people don't understand the topic.
Exactly.
So I think it's important to cover a couple things about it. The way to do the science, right, is to formulate a hypothesis, right, then compute the consequences of it, and then test the consequences to observation or measurement of reality, or or nature. And so, and you can falsify things with that, provided you've done the computation correctly, and you can find confirming evidence for things. And flat earthers only do one method, one side of it, and they always get the computations wrong. And this is just another example of it. They're doing the celestial theodolite, incorrectly doing the globe computation, never doing the flat earth computation, really. And then saying, oh, it matches closer to the flat earth computation, which isn't actually the flat earth computation. And let me explain why it's not the flat earth computation. They do have a spot on their spreadsheet that is the flat earth prediction, right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So once again, to review, it is observer on the ground, mountain peak up here somewhere, right? And at some moment of time, the peak obstructs the star. And so right at that intersection of time and location, we know where the star sits according to Stellarium, which is where the globe says it will be.
Right.
And so you can't use where the globe says the star will be in the flat earth prediction. You have to use where the flat earth says the star will be in the flat earth prediction, number one. Number two, there's a distance between the observer and the mountain peak. And on the globe, that distance is computed using the Haversine formula. On flat earth, you must use some non-spherical method to do that. So you could use the polar distance formula, or you could use a polar coordinate transform of the Pythagorean theorem. Those are two options to do that. The Haversine formula is not an option. That's number two. Number three, the elevation of the mountain from where you are needs to be a different elevation. Now, I think, get this right. I think they do include the drop, because there's going to be a drop because of the curvature of the Earth for the globe, and there won't be a drop for flat Earth, right? And they do. Do they get that at least in their spreadsheet?
They were, but that showed that the Edith Hook to Blin Mountain observations matched the globe. So now they're not even doing that correctly. They're either using no drop or double or triple drop.
My gosh.
I don't remember.
So I was the Shiva panel. I was hoping so much that Kevin was going to bring forward the celestial theodolite, because he had hinted at that in one of the introductory meetings. And of course, Shiva was very, very particular about this. The globe people do the globe prediction. The flat people do the flat prediction. You don't do their prediction. You do your prediction. And if you think their prediction is wrong, well, you could say it, but you need to get yours right. And if you're not going to do yours, then why are you here? You volunteered to be on this. So if Kevin or even Alan or Shame or anybody else had come with the celestial theodolite and said, okay, well, here's how we did the globe prediction, Shiva would have said, shut the hell up. Show us the flat earth prediction. And then And then after a bunch of bitching and whining, they would have gone over the flat earth prediction, at which point Shiva would have said, how did you get the distance between them? They said, well, we use the Hefferstein formula. Yeah. Well, you can't use that. You need to use flat earth. And how did you get the position of the stars? We use stellarium. You can't use stellarium to get the position of the stars for flat earth. It doesn't do that. That's the position of the stars for the globe. You lose already. Anyway, keep going. I got excited.
Well, one bit of progress is Alan has finally added custom functions to his spreadsheet for several different astronomic refraction methods, all of which he shaned from my spreadsheet. So
sweet. Yeah, that's the other thing is the little deception that they're doing. They take the mountain, right? Like you said, right? Observer, mountain peak, and then they get the moment in time when the mountain obstructs the peak or obstructs the star. And they're like, oh, well, since we're not looking at the star, we can just turn off refraction, pretend that refraction doesn't exist. Like, wait, no, you don't get to do that, because at the moment that the star was obstructed by the mountain, light was being refracted through the air. You have to apply it all the time. So again, the globe prediction is refraction exists, and so we will happily compute the globe prediction. If you say refraction on flat earth doesn't exist, go ahead, don't include it. It won't work. Your prediction won't match, but go ahead.
Right. And an interesting thing is a really nice man on their team did a physical demonstration in his garage and with refraction, and showed that if there's refraction at the mountain peak, then there will be a difference in the angle and the time at the moment that the occlusion is observed. And I actually have a video clip of that. I have the whole thing that's like 7 minutes, or a 60-second condensed version. Would you like to play either of those?
The 60-second one, let's see.
Okay. I'll drop it in the Discord, and you can just play it from there.
Yeah.
It's only 3.2 megs.
Sure. I'm watching it. All right, there we go.
You should see there, and you should see it now.
Yep. Let me. Oh, come on. Let me.
Okay, so what I'm showing.
There it is. There's a download link. Downloading.
This was, let's see, taken probably from one of Alan's videos, because I don't see the Earth Awakenings. Oh, yeah, and the video link and the timestamp that I got it from are in the bottom of it.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm showing here, or this is like a little self-video rig that I built just in my shop here. Dialing in some refraction here. We're gonna do a refractive occlusion. So if we're having like some celestial refraction going on here. And here you can see the light. And moving it, and boom, it's gone. The true position of the star has shifted.
How?
The consequence.
How is he
of
refracting it?
He had a little square plastic container of water that he set at the mountain peak in his jig that he used to offset.
Is that what this cube is here?
Yes, that cube is a little plastic, like he took a square plastic bottle and cut the bottom off and filled it with water and used it as kind of a prism, basically.
Okay. I'll finish playing it.
Is a timing difference.
Back up just a little bit so you can catch his last sentence.
Yeah, all right.
The consequence of that is a timing difference.
So it's like Alan knows that if refraction, and this is from their own team, this is someone on their own team who's actually been very good to me. So shout out to Goose. He did a very good job on that demonstration. But Alan knows that if there is any refraction, that it would change the time of occlusion that it was observed and the angle to the star at the time of occlusion. And yep, I've asked him if he believes that the star, the peak, and the observer are in a physically straight line at the time the occlusion is observed, and he says yes. But he also doesn't deny refraction because he says refraction is what causes normal theodolites to measure a globe drop over distance. So that's one of the things I ask him about, and he mutes me for it. So he's got to know he's just misleading people. I don't know what else to say, you know?
It's amazing the depths that they'll go to, because none of the ether cosmology people reject the trip to Antarctica.
Yeah.
Right? Because Whitsitt basically founded that group. Right? That was his that was his shtick. Was ether ether crap. All right. Let's see if we No, DamascusSteel do you admit defeat by banning me? No. We admit that you lied by banning you. You said you were going to physically be at a location tonight. I gave you the address. You demanded it. You chose today. Then you complained that the day that you couldn't get there with your film crew, which is clearly a lie. But now here you are, having called me names. Apparently, pretty put up on screen. Having called me this, you are the one that have chosen not to join. So the defeat goes to you, DamascusSteel. Anyway,
Is the flat earther that wouldn't show up on stream and wouldn't show up in person, he's in the chat trolling?
Yes, he's in the chat trying to declare victory by not showing up in person after demanding an address to show up in person for today, and by not showing up in Zoom after saying that he was going to be in the live stream today. So
you mean he could have clicked that link and joined just like I did?
Yeah, he could have. Yeah.
Oh, so that's how you know a real brave warrior, when he runs away twice and then trolls in the chat.
Ever so bravely brave. But I have documented it on my website. He is rather mentally ill, so gotta be careful. People like this, they're not normal. You don't demand to show up in person, demand to have an address to be there in person, and then when you're given that and he chose today to be the day, right? This morning early.
Today, he picked his day?
At 10 a.m. Central Time today, he said, what's the address for the studio for the live stream tonight? Tonight. Not next week, not a month from now. Tonight. I gave him an address. And he said, "You didn't give me time to get my film crew there. You're the one that demanded the day be today."
Wow.
Insane.
Well,
sane people don't do that. Right?
Wow.
So, kid gloves. He's obviously quite mentally ill. You know, in decades past, would have been involuntarily housed in an asylum. He did literally say his film crew.
Huh.
He's going to bring his film crew. The thing is,
does he have multiple personalities?
He does have multiple personalities. He has somewhere in the vicinity of 15 sock accounts.
And that's his film crew.
He has conversations with himself. And then when people are like, "We know it's you," it's like, "No, it's not." And then forgets which personality he's commenting from. And so like makes mistakes in these back and forths that he's having. Like, like speaking in the first person, "You didn't do this for me." And then in the in the third person, "You didn't do that for him." And then, right, should be coming back to the first account saying, "You didn't do this for me," but is doing it on the other account.
Got it. Yep.
Right? Getting the, you know, the person incorrect. So,
yeah.
But it's the same thing, like always grouping together, like in the same comment on a YouTube video, like one comment and then one response to that comment with one of the other sock accounts.
Yep.
15 minutes later. And then a different day, a different video, same pattern. Different video, different person's channel, same pattern. So, in fact, after this, I'm going to give him what I'm going to call the McKeegan treatment. So the McKeegan treatment is when you have a bunch of sock accounts that are pretending to be multiple people, block all but one.
Oh, I see.
So I will be.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, and so you can still communicate, but you can only communicate with one sock account. If you want to prove that you're not multiple sock accounts, you can do that by doing a live stream with you on your face on video, DamascusSteel, and John Thompson, one of the other sock accounts, John Thompson's face on video, and another account, the final boss, on video, and Bob's wife on video. You know, all together.
But faces on all these sucks.
Exactly. Anyway, keep going. You did you have any more?
Well, let's see. I can't think of anything else at the moment, but if you want to play some more of that video you had, maybe Alan will say something worth commenting on.
I do have a few other things.
Sure.
That I'll cover. So, Jesse, it's always good to have you on. So.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, so. Is that the end of my section now?
All right. Yes. So anyway, thanks a lot, Jesse. I got a few other things.
All right.
and I'll
Thank you.
cover that. And yeah, we'll see.
All
you
right.
later.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Some of the other things I had. So, and by the way, you can still join there, DamascusSteel. Just so you know, if you don't join, you are the one being scared. You are the one running from me. Okay. I have some interference coming in my earbuds. I'm going to see if it's coming in. No. And it's not anywhere in my system. It's interesting. I do get some interference on I have some cheap desktop speakers when my phone When my phone receives calls, I hear it, a little bit of interference, but no. Yeah, Shedsy, I did see that he actually has falsely claimed that he's being censored. No, you're getting the Vicky treatment. That's different. You said you were going to meet me in person today, then you chickened out. Then you said you were going to be in the live stream today and you chickened out. So this is a mental illness, so you will be getting the McKeegan treatment. When I'm done with this, I'll be doing that. Blocking the other accounts so that while you can comment, you just can't comment with all of your fake accounts. So, all right. I got a few other like mentally ill flat earther things. They're a bit, yeah. Okay. You can't talk about mentally ill flat earthers without talking about the piss drinker himself. Now, not the piss drinker Dave Murphy, but the piss drinker, well, the one who I tried calling earlier. There you go. This guy, I'll show you in a second here. I gotta make sure this is set up here. Okay. This guy right here. Now the sound is muted because this is so vile that I can't play it. But this is a list of the people that he is asking people to terminate, including every sitting president, the Pope, Australian political leaders, British leaders, and Zuckerberg even. So he is actually directly inciting people to go and take action against them like that. This is Santos Bonacci, who's this was I think a series of videos that he had done shortly before his channel, his YouTube channel, was deleted. He had gone on about every day listing off the people that he wanted to have this treatment applied to. He wanted them terminated permanently. And then his channel got deleted after like 2 weeks of him doing this every day. I can't believe it took that long. Now, almost 2 years later, his channel has been reinstated. I don't know why his channel has been reinstated. That is ridiculous. Not only should his channel not be reinstated, he does belong in an asylum for the criminally insane. Yeah, the comments on this are kind of disgusting. It's people supporting him. Every one of the people commenting and supporting him should also be in that same asylum, because none of what he is saying here makes any sense at all. This is not what normal people do. This is what mentally ill people do. So yeah, and so his new channel is up. His old channel's back up, and it is disturbing that it exists. So I know if you're interested, Icy Spin on Discord has some. If you're interested in being a member of something to take action, Icy Spin on Discord would be the one that he's organizing something. So yeah, you could probably read his words there a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to do this, and here's these other people, and I want to do this, and I want you to go do these things. That's what he's saying. Does Santos have a current boy toy? No, his boy toy, who we called Elf, Daniel, he went off to Zanzibar, I think, to do some scouting, he said, and he took a bunch of money and never came back. Apparently, he is no longer with us. But I don't know if that's the case. I think I could see that Daniel may have just said, you know, enough of Santos. I'm gonna pretend to be gone. So, yes, like dead. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I loved it. When Craig called him an elf, like, if you call me elf one more time, he called him elf one more time. He called him elf a whole bunch of times, and he didn't do anything about it. So yeah, so Santos is, you know, a mentally ill flat earther. Another flat earther on Facebook, Paul Weaver, said that it's so funny. He claimed that he thought that I couldn't touch his ability to understand physics. And so I did a post on Facebook challenging him. I said, well, awesome. Let's both put $5,000 in escrow. We both take a university level physics exam. I'll make it easy for you. It will be the first class, like the 201/2001 class, not the not a higher end, not a 300 or 400 level, 3,000, 4,000 level class. Just do the final exam for the first of the series of whatever university. And he didn't accept it. He boldly declared that he was able to, he was so much better than me. But here's what he said in DMs. He said, I flunked my high school physics exams. Yet here he didn't even spell flunked right. Yet here I am becoming a flat earth scientist and learning something new every day. No, you're not a flat earth scientist. You're an insane person. That's what you are. An insane person. Oh, no such thing as a flat earth. No such thing as a flat earth scientist. Okay, now this, all right, I got. Now, if you've been on Facebook, you'll know about Simon Mav, who is also rather insane. Okay, now Simon Mav is a big fan of the flat earther that likes to put his balls in people's mouths. Constantly, you know, begging people to let him do it. And so he posted this video, but first I'm going to post it. I'm going to play a different one here. I just got to grab it quick. So now there's after Antarctica, flat earth, there's a split between two groups of flat earthers. Those that understand that this is the only possible flat earth map that isn't stupider, right? Every other flat earth map is stupider. And those that have that position must then reject the possibility that this was falsified. And so they have to commit to the lie that they say about it being faked. It was not faked. Anybody can go there. And I even offered $100,000 to anybody that would go there with me and, you know, see that the sun set. None of them took it. Anyway, the group number one, they've committed to this. This is their map. And they say that they believe desperately in the fakery of the trip. The other group is ones that say, oh, we don't need a map. That doesn't mean anything. All the angles, Earth measured flat. You used flat measurements. So I have this video here. Here we go. Measuring angles on a globe is easy. It's the name of the video. Okay. Here is the video right here. And you'll see right next to me, there is a sphere. I have right here a sphere. Nathan Oakley, the flat earther, claims that you cannot get an elevation angle from a sphere. Well, I just did. From this sphere, I used a camera on my phone, put it right on the top of it, took a picture. You can see the horizon of the sphere, and you can see points above it. For example, look at the horizon of the sphere here, and maybe the tip of the top of the rocket. Could you measure an elevation angle between the horizon and the top of that rocket? Certainly you could. That's not difficult at all. If you wanted to do some work to figure out where the horizon is in relation to the tangent plane where the camera is sitting, that you can also do, and it doesn't make the sphere stop being a sphere. Nathan, you have tried to tell me more than 50 times that you cannot measure an angle to a sphere, and I just showed you how. So there you go. There is unchallenged proof that you can measure angles on the surface of a sphere. And so Simon Mav, who obviously has no clue how any amount of math is done, posted this video multiple times on my channel. I deleted it because I don't want his posts on my channel. I want my posts on my channel. So then in a comment, he posted the link to this. And I'll just play this right here for you. I'll stop the audio, the music here.
Hi, my name's Derek Hullinger. I have a PhD in physics, and I'm going to explain how to find the angle of elevation of the sun using a shadow. So let's say the sun is shining on some beautiful day, and let's say here's the ground right here, and maybe got a fence post right here. And let's say that you take out a ruler and you find out that that fence post is 3 feet tall. And you take out another ruler. Well, before we talk about the shadow, actually, where would the shadow fall? Well, it's pretty easy to figure that out. You just draw a line from the sun across the top of the fence post all the way to the ground like that. So in this case, that's how long the shadow would be. So let's say that that shadow was maybe 2 feet long at a certain time of day. The angle of elevation of the sun in this case is just this angle right here. Let's call that theta. Well, we could also draw that angle right here if we wanted to. It's the same angle. And you notice that this is a right triangle here, and we can actually figure out what that angle is based on how tall this fence post is and how long its shadow is. If you remember from trigonometry, the tangent of an angle is equal to the length of the side opposite the angle. So in this case, that's 3, divided by the length of the side next to the angle. So in this case, that's 2.
For reference, Alan, space audits, those are distances, not angles.
So the tangent of this angle is 3/2, or 1.5. So to figure out what that angle is, you use something called an arctangent or an inverse tangent. So the way we would write that on paper is just that the angle equals the arctangent of 1.5. And most calculators, especially scientific calculators, have a little ATAN button. That's an arctangent button. Or sometimes the button will say tan -1. It's the same thing. So all you do is you type in 1.5, and then you hit that button, and it tells you what that angle is. So if we went ahead and did that in this case with the 3 and the 2, we'd find out that that angle is 56.3 degrees. Now suppose you...
So just for reference, on my scientific calculator right here, it's you hit the blue shift button here, and then the tan button. So it's tangent right there. So then you do blue shift and then tangent on my calculator here.
You punch this into your calculator, and instead of getting a number like this, 56.3, you get a number 0.983. That just means that your calculator is in radians mode, so it's giving you that angle in radians instead of the angle in degrees. So when you hit that arctangent button, you want to make sure your calculator is in whichever mode you want the answer in.
That's it. So he posted that thinking that that it somehow supported his position. I'll do something right here. I'm going to use their claims. I'm going to use the angle to the sun that I personally measured in Minnesota on the equinoxes. And I'm going to just do it to 2 digits, okay? So I measured at 45 degrees north the angle to the sun of 45 degrees. Okay? And there you go. So that makes a triangle, right? I've got theta equals 45. Okay, right there. Okay. Now I know the distance from Minneapolis to where the sun was at that moment. At that moment, the sun was over the equator. Being on 45 degrees north latitude, that distance is 5,000 kilometers. All right, 5,000 kilometers. Now, a special part of that type of triangle, a 45-45-90 triangle, is that both the adjacent and the opposite are the same length. So they're both 5,000 kilometers. So doing the math that Simon Mav and Nathan Oakley talk about, the sun must be 5,000 kilometers high. I just measured it. Okay. So that's the elevation of the sun. Now, when I was in Antarctica, I was at 80 degrees south latitude. And the angle that I measured was 34 degrees. Now, at that moment, the sun was over the Tropic of Capricorn. And the Tropic of Capricorn is 23.5 degrees we're going to use, okay? Okay, that's the sun's position. So from 80 degrees south latitude to 23.5 degrees latitude, that's what I need to do to solve this triangle here. Right, I'll put this in right here. We've got theta equals 34 degrees, okay? Right there. I'm solving this triangle right here using the link that Simon Mav provided, using the elevation angles, testing flat Earth that Nathan Oakley says. Now remember, you can measure an angle to the surface of a globe. I played the video already. Okay. So now we need to know this distance here. We can figure out that distance. In fact, I will do it on my HP48G calculator. 23.5 degrees is where the sun is, the GP of the sun, and I was at 80. So I'm going to take 80 degrees minus 23.5, 56.5. Now, to convert degrees latitude to a linear distance, I like to use nautical miles, and then I convert to a different unit. Or I can just use 111. Since we're doing everything in kilometers, I'm just going to use 111. 6,271. Okay, so now we've got a triangle. We've got a triangle, 34 degrees angle, 6,271 kilometers distance. Now all we need to do is figure out this side to see if we get the same height, because we've already figured out that for flat Earth, the sun must be 5,000 kilometers high. This is not negotiable. This was already measured. Now we're just testing the hypothesis. We're computing, we've computed the consequences almost. One more step. One more little step. I'll now, if you can't handle the trig, that's okay. A lot of people can't handle the trig. You can not just use the trig. You can actually just use a right triangle calculator. All you got to do is type in right triangle calculator, and then they have a handy picture there. And what you do for the picture is you put in the things that you know. 6271 kilometers for the bottom angle there. And theta in that example is 34 degrees. And the height of the sun now is 4,229.8. So 4230 kilometers. So we've got a little bit of a problem. We've got you screen sharing. Yeah, I took the P1000 down, took it to Chicago. I need to reinstall it. Anyway, so here we did what Simon Mav said to do. We applied trig to the elevation angle of the sun, assuming flat Earth. From Minneapolis, we measured the sun to be 5,000 kilometers high. From Antarctica, we measured the sun to be 4,230 kilometers high. A massive difference. Nearly 800 kilometers variation in the height of the sun. That is an unacceptable margin of error there. So we have falsified flat Earth right there. The elevation angles to the sun that I measured in Antarctica falsify flat Earth. Now, not only that, but because Nathan Oakley has stated multiple times in multiple different ways that this is the map of the Earth. He has stated that first there's a video of him with this through a projector on his screen. He's got his face on this, like an actual projector projecting onto a screen behind him, and he's got the projector shooting in his eyes with this map. I think it's not this particular one. It's more of a more modern one. Doesn't matter. It's the same map. He also says that elevation angle or that elevation angles to Polaris is how people figured out the shape of the Earth. Well, that's the concentric circles. And he has also stated his position when he said when he claimed there was no 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and he committed to that. He committed to this map being the map. So I falsified flat Earth again. And Simon Mav, if you're on Facebook and you're a true connoisseur for idiocy, not as creative as Dimmock. Dimmock is a little more creative. Simon Mav basically has nothing but insults, and he just calls everybody a thicko. That's all he has. So anyway, let me read a few things here. I see that we've got Old Mad Yamaha in the chat here. So we can laugh at him a little bit. Be sure to not time him out. Just be sure to laugh at him. Alyssum Aviation says, don't think cat meat is cheap enough for McDonald's. 78 Mitsu says, Toon's looking good in those bell bottoms. That wasn't me dancing. You don't want to see me dance. In the Life 475 says, Kevin John is live. Go join. No. Kevin John needs a moderator. A good moderator. And a really good moderator. And he's never had a really good moderator. So, but at least a mediocre moderator would be fine. But Kevin John is, basic, here's the thing. When you're in an actual debate, when you're actually really trying to debate, you have your position, you state your claim, then you bring evidence to support it, and then you bring the logic and reasoning, how your claim and the evidence are tied together, how the evidence supports your claim. He can't do that. He doesn't even try. So it's only good for so much. Dimox says, why can't Globere see the sides of stuff conform reality both ways? You see how funny he is? He's just funny. So Alyssum says, need a song about the Flerf that bravely ran away. Oh, that'd be good. If somebody wants to make a song that could be played whenever a Flerf runs away, you could theme it on the song from Monty Python, but a generic one. It'd be good. Lord of Luminous Poo says, between Pooh and Tim, I'm my own straight man. Yeah, sometimes you gotta be. Zebulon 181 says, what if Santos and Dimmock made a baby? Gross. Gross. So gross. Wow. That would be, a black hole of vile. Jay Donachie, I remember the McPussy, they didn't offer it in a Happy Meal. They just offered it with a happy ending. Yep. I already read that. Gross. Funny. Brenda Crane says, does Fakatsoid wash his sock accounts? I don't know how many sock accounts Fakatsoid has. I don't know if it's not really his thing. Evil Producer 1 says, are Wankzoid's sock accounts crusty? Gross. Alyssum says, Toon, don't indulge him by reading his comments. Well, up to a certain point I do, because I want to show how dumb he is, right? That's the point. You got him. The point is, I am showcasing how incredibly stupid and horrible and awful and evil and rotten and whatever flat earthers are. They are dumb and terrible people, and many of them are mentally ill. And that's what this is for right here. That's what this is. So when I read something that showcases how stupid they are, I am documenting it for humanity. I'm showing how dumb flat earthers are. So he may get that little bit of humiliation kink so he can go and finish, because that's his thing. Whatever, go do that. Gross. But the rest of humanity can this is just documenting. The Flerf Wiki is really the place to memorialize the horribleness, stupidness, and mental illness of flat earthers. Gary IOW says, if you want to talk about radio, tap me up. Radio and photography are second languages to me. Oh yeah, Gary is great on that stuff. Well, the Zoom link is still open, Damascus, if you want to not make a fool of yourself. So Wild Lee Coyote for $2 says, how come no flat earther predicted the auroras? That's a good question. Even more so, this is interesting. If the sun is local, when you think about this, according to flat earthers, the sun is here, just a little bit above the earth, right? And there's a solar flare when the sun is maybe here, right? And then the sun does this, 1, 2, 3, and then the solar flare hits the earth. How does that work? How does that work, flatties? Obviously, you're dumb. I mean, there's no other way to say it. You're so dumb. You're so dumb. Oh, Shedzy49 says, wait, a Flerf being dishonest? I am shocked. Of course. Sean Hawkins, oh, you have a parody song for flats. Could you send that? Can you send a DM on Discord? I like to watch them before I play them. But it's good. I'll put into my my OBS so I can play it as an outro in a future one. 1 over n squared says, when will you cover Flatzoid's next bishop polishing? That's much more interesting than this Mickey Mouse physics. I don't know what bishop polishing you're talking about. I don't watch Flatzoid. Maybe you do, like, I watched a little bit and it's just he's so painfully stupid. You know, there's only so much, and it's weird. Different flat earthers I can watch different amounts of before it's like, it's too much. Like, I can watch Mikey Smith. Like, he's dumb, but I can watch him. Flatzoid, it's just, it's so aggressively awful. Oh yeah, Max, yeah, he cried on stream over a wank. I got it. Yes, I saw that. I did see that. I did. And then he got suicidal. He got suicidal because he wanked. Let's put him on wrong. That's not right. Let's get him centered there. Yes. Did anyone see the Toon imitator on Fakatzoid's show get blocked for talking about Fakatzoid's wanking problem the other night? No. I did not see that. That's funny. I mean, naughty. Oh my gosh. Who was the Greek Aussie MCToon would call and he would just swear with an animated mouth? Comedy Gold. Yeah, that's Simon Mav. He is on Facebook. If you really want, go find my account on Facebook. He posts on every one of my posts. Cognitive Dissonance is a new member at Newton. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Autopants. With a member super chat for 23 months, says, bring back JM Truth. The only truth is JM Truth. I have called him a couple times, talked to him a couple times to try to get him to come back. You know, the smartest thing he's ever done is decide to not come back. Yep. Huge Arse says, mentally ill flat earther could be used as the ultimate example of a tautology. Yeah, I mean, you got John Puckett. You got Victor Kroot. Simon Mav. You got Santos. DamascusSteel. Jenny with the sock accounts. Like really pretty severe ones. There's what's his name that's in prison? He took advantage. Got a girl a little bought her beer, and then took advantage of her in the parking lot by her apartment building while his girlfriend had a baby at home and was pregnant with another baby. Yes, Flat Earther did that, and then went crying to the community. Oh, help me. I got set up. What he did is he accepted a plea deal. As I understand it, he accepted a plea deal for a lower sentence rather than go to trial. And then after that, it's like, okay, time to go to jail. And then he started crying like, I didn't know I had to go to jail, and called up Witsit, and Witsit, you know, because he's legally adept, is like, oh yeah, I'll Skylar Moody is his name, Skylar Moody, but he had a different name that he used too, but yeah, he went to Witsit. Witsit is like, oh, they totally screwed him. Like, no, he did a plea deal. Anyway, so he had to go away. And it was for at least a year, and it's been a year and a few months. So, but then you've got ODD TV. ODD stands for Overdose Denver. and he did spend some time in prison for narcotics. So, yeah, there's a lot of pretty serious mental issues in Flat Earth. I haven't done anything very meticulous, but the percentage of them seems quite significantly higher than the general population. And it makes sense. It makes sense that mentally ill people would fall for Flat Earth. Mentally ill people don't understand the basics of science or physics or things like that. They're disconnected from reality. So when somebody's like, oh, everybody's lying to you, then the people that are mentally ill are like, oh yeah, I've been saying that all from this. So it makes sense to them because they're mentally ill. And then, it does things. Everybody needs community. And typically, because of how they are, they lack community already in many ways. And then they find Flat Earth. And then all the other mentally ill people in Flat Earth are like, well, you can go be with them. And so then they get that community, and then they won't let go of it, right? It becomes more important to them than truth. So Nick N says, I saw something a month ago about ODD getting arrested for robbing a bank. I would need to see a little more detail on that, but I suppose if you got arrested, it's public record. I could look that up. So interesting. I would not be surprised. It wouldn't surprise me. But Unfornicated says, either cosplayers know Celestial Theodolite is BS. They had an open platform on Shiva and they chose the ILS experiment. That speaks volumes. Yes, it does. But the ILS is a similar thing to the Celestial Theodolite. It's a little better in that they're not using distances that are computed on the Haversine. They're using distances that are computed using the speed of light, which is a bit of a problem for them because we've measured the distance to the sun using the speed of light. They have to reject that. So you can't both accept the speed of light and reject the speed of light. It's got to be one or the other. You have to accept it or reject it to be consistent. And they don't care about being consistent. Fletcher Boy for $10 says, but most Flerfs are grifters that are intolerable, but Santos is disgusting. He is disgusting. I don't think that most Flerfs are grifters for money, though you could say that there's other capital that they are looking for. So capital such as recognition, right? Because like Austin is a narcissist. He needs that. He's looking for that recognition, that acceptance, that he wants to be on the pedestal. That's the capital that he's looking for. Now, he also got money, but there's other flat earthers that don't get much money, like Alan, Space Audits, right? He probably gets little, but he's not getting a lot of money from what he's doing. But here's a guy that was dumb in school. He said that he dipped out of algebra, right? He sucked at algebra. So he didn't do good at school. And my guess is he probably wasn't into sports, and he probably wasn't into, I don't know. My guess is that, his formative years were not good. And then because he probably doesn't have a whole lot of marketable skills, I would imagine, could be wrong, but I don't think he has a pretty solid career. So now he's found in this community that he gets a certain kind of capital that he's lacked in the past. And that capital is recognition and other people's admiration. So that capital there, you could call what he's doing grifting for that type of capital. I think that's fair. So I'm fine with that. I don't think most are grifting for money because there's not a lot of money, right? There's just a couple that actually make decent money. Flat Earth Dave being one of them, and having spoken with somebody that used to work for Flat Earth Dave, he has said Dave's not rolling in it. And since TFE, he's definitely struggling. Somebody used to work for him. So, NEV for 3 Canadian says, oh, an HP48, a real calculator, RPN forever. Oh yeah. I love this. I love it so much that, that this is my calculator on my phone. It's an emulator. That's what I use on my phone, is the emulator for that physical one. Where do you think CC Chris is? Crit Thought says, where do you think CC Chris from New York, Westchester County falls? Is he just unintelligent? Is he faking it or something else? He's unintelligent. Yeah. I think that CC has, similar to what I just said about Alan, probably did not do well in his formative years. I don't think he's super excited about his career. He drives an ambulette. So he drives around people that are handicapped, which, you know, there's some value in that, but I don't think that he's super excited about that particular career for himself. Doesn't look like his wife is a big fan of him. And so, but he's been into every conspiracy for a long time. If you look at his channel before he started talking about flat earth, he was talking about other conspiracy stuff. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't make sense, he's into it. Right? Flat earth, not flat earth, conspiracy people, they will take the thing that has, you know, no evidence and does not make sense, and think that, and when just somebody tells them that's the case, that it is this, say, oh, that's right. And the thing that does make sense and does have evidence for it, they'll say, that's wrong. It's a lack of critical thinking, and it's a desire to have some secret knowledge. So here he is, a guy that's, you know, generally been, you could just say that he's generally been a failure in life in many aspects. And now he's got secret knowledge, and now he feels important. He gets that thing that was missing before. Plus he gets some community that he didn't have before. So, but yeah, he's dumb. They're all dumb, right? That's the foundational part. They're all dumb. None of them can understand the real simple geometry that the sun could never set. They can't get that, right? It's really simple. They can't get that. So, you know, somewhere, you know, middle of elementary school is the level of understanding that where you'd figure that out. Like, oh yeah, if the sun's above a table, doesn't matter how far the sun is away from you, above that table. If you're above the table and the sun's above that table, you'll see the sun, right? What grade is that? Well, I think most flat earthers can't handle 4th grade science, because in 4th grade is about when you're introduced the concept of conservation of momentum. And flat earthers don't understand conservation of momentum. They're like, how come if the earth is spinning, how come a helicopter can't hover and then just get where it's going, or a hot air balloon, right? That conservation of momentum. They don't understand that it exists. It's introduced in 4th grade. This is what's my memory of conservation of momentum. We had a paper plate, and you cut a quarter out of it. So it's like a Pac-Man of a paper plate. And then they say, okay, you're going to take a marble and you're going to put it on that paper plate, and you're going to roll it around. It's going to go in a circle, and then it's going to get to the part of the paper plate where there's no more plate, and it's going to go off onto the table. Okay, now you tell me, everybody in the chat, you've got 3 options. A, it's going to continue curving. B, it's going to go straight. C, it's going to curve away the opposite direction, like it's going to, like, you know, make up for lost curving. Right? Which one? A, keep curving the way of the plate as if the plate were there. B, go straight. C, curve away like it's making up for lost curve. Which one? This was I know this was 4th grade because I know the room I was in. I can picture it in my head. That building is still there. It's no longer a school. I could go to it though, and I could sit down and I could be in that and I could face the same direction that I sat when I was sitting there doing that lab experiment. So the answer is it'll go straight. All right, let's see here. Right. Here is DamascusSteel again, getting everything wrong. Not everyone is dumb. No. All flat earthers are dumb. Most people are not that dumb. Most people are smart enough to get it, right? Everybody that has a 4th grade understanding of science. So anyway, the correct answer is it will go straight. It has that momentum of movement, but it doesn't have that. It won't continue to curve because there's no force acting on it, right? This goes into, this kind of touches on multiple of the Newton's laws. They weren't taught to us as Newton's laws, right? The concepts were there, but not the names of them. Another thing that we had, 4th grade science really hit it for me. I remember testing the compressibility of air, right? We put air in a syringe and pressed it. And then we put water in a syringe and compressed it. And I'm like, why are we doing this? Of course the air can compress and the water can't. I already knew it. I had already messed with it. What came first, flat earthers or anti-flat earthers? Well, flat earthers came first more than 2,500 years ago. And then when people like, the sun could never set, then everybody said, oh yeah, you're right. And then there weren't any flat earthers anymore. Real Arnold is right. Y'all mods need to calm down, you echo chamber trigger happy wrenchers. Yeah, Damascus is really the only one that needs to be timed out. Right? And I don't want to mod Dimmock. He's just here for comedy. Like, if I paid him, I couldn't pay money to get a better example of idiocy than Dimmock is here. He does it for free. Don't time him out. We want to see that kind of derp. Yeah. Virtual reality participant. What did he do? Look, I don't want to take away mods. I don't want to give him a mod. This is fine. Look, it's fine. He can say that. It's okay. I don't want to make him a mod. There's only 2 ways to stop that stuff from getting no echo chamber. This is not an echo chamber. Okay? There's only 2 ways. Take away everybody's wrench or give the derps a wrench. Right? Don't make me give them a wrench. Don't make me take all yours away. Right? DamascusSteel is the only one that gets timed out. Okay. All right. Icy Spin says, happy birthday, Lindsay Bow. There you go, Lindsay Bow. Happy birthday. 07 fam? Good to see you. What's 07 fam? I don't know what that is. Anyway, thank you for that, Icy Spin. We've got Nick L. Is that Nick, or NLCL? I think it's Nick L. It says, I've been saying mucho around my Hispanic friends more often. It means a lot to them. Oh my gosh. I went to a Mexican restaurant the other day. And the Mexican guy who's putting the stuff together, I'm like, yeah, I'll have some of this. I'll have, some cheese. I'll have some, I'll have the chicken, and then can you put some chicken beak on it? And he looks at me funny, like, what? Chicken beak? I go, Pico de Gallo. And he just busts out laughing. He couldn't stop laughing. He could not stop laughing. I'm like, okay, it wasn't that funny. Tad is mad, says, I bravely ran away from a lot of Flerfs. I need to protect my brain from the gravitational pull of their stupidity. You gotta watch it. Astro Kate Sathax says, have a lovely Thanksgiving, MCToon. Thank you very much. I plan to. It's been a lot. A lot of prep for Thanksgiving and stuff. A lot of busyness going on. We've had 2 deaths recently, and like not close deaths, like but one family, one friend's parent. Yeah, but you know, it's tough stuff. But yeah, thanks, Astrocade. And there's other busyness happening. That's just whatever. There's no end to being busy, is there? No, there's no end. Kango4457 says, I watched the Flatzoid wank video while having a wank. I like to imagine his tears are my lube. Oh, no. I can't read that. I know. That's the best I could reading it. Okay, why is Kango44 now Kango4457? What happened? What's the 57? Where'd that come from? Bob Null gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that, Bob Null. And if you received one, make sure you say thanks to Bob. Dirk Swizzler has been a member for 65 months. That's almost 5.5 years. It says, thank Titicaca. It's Tuesday, and thanks to Superman and his pal, Fwaxoid. Yes, okay. Waxoid. Or just Waxoid. Oh my gosh. And his pal Waxoid for keeping us attached to the spinning globe. Oh my gosh. He really did. He really did. He had a wank. And he had to get on YouTube to tell everybody about it. Seriously. You know, it's okay. That kind of stuff, you can keep quiet about. It's fine. Seriously. Nobody wants to know. No, nobody. You don't need to tell anybody. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh, Fapsoid. Yep, that's it. It's Fapsoid. That's it. That's the new name. Best yet. Bob Null says memberships to celebrate my be-wrenching. What? Oh, is this
cat treat?
It's a cat treat. Okay, I guess I'm giving her a cat treat. Hold on. Let me make sure. All right, here we go, Raccoon. Great. Hold on. No. Over here. Here you go. Here's your cat treat. There it is. Yeah. There. Oh, so good. Yeah, yummy. It's so good. I feel like I want some. No, I can't have any. Don't worry, I won't be. Thank you. Are you happy? Good kitty. All right. There you go. Hold on. Watch this. She doesn't mind when you give her a little tummy scratch. Come here. There you go. She's like, what are you doing? I just want to go.
What's your treat?
Okay, go have some more treat. There you go. All right. Anyway, yeah. Thank you, Bob Null. Real Harnold says Whitsit is probably more very expert about getting arrested than math. He is better at getting arrested than math. Ian Chapman says, just join the live. What happened to Damascus? He chickened out. Are you surprised? Nobody's surprised. He totally chickened out. Derek the Dullard says the world's smallest violin playing for Dearth. Yes. He may have to not go to Mexico as long this winter on the backs of his gullible idiot, followers. So, and then we've got Sean Hawkins for $2 says, show me a bucket of gravity. Yes. Wait, are you mirrored? Doesn't she usually come in from the other side? Yes. I moved to a different office, a different room. So the old room, my wife's like, hey, I think we should use that room for something else. I'm like, oh, but I just finished it. She's like, I know. Isn't it nice? We should use it for something else now that you finished it. What about this other room that's totally unfinished? That was just a storage room before. I'm like, oh, well, I guess it's bigger and I can finish it differently. I don't know. But behind me is a green screen. I know it doesn't look like it, but I can show you. See that? So yeah, there it is. It's just a green screen. So, yep. Used to be there. Now it's there. So it used to be like the door was like right there, like boom. And now the door is over there. So this room is, I don't know, 20 something feet this way. It used to be like 8 feet. Like the camera was right up against the wall, and then you saw the wall behind me. That was it. So it's a beautiful lap ship wall. It's actually it's reclaimed pallet wood. And it was a good amount of work, because so I had done I did like our living room. Like I started doing this and my wife's like, oh, that's really cool. You should do our living room too. And by two, I mean, you should do it first. So I started on that, and then I stopped doing that to do the living room. So the wall of the living room, I put a like reclaimed pallet wood, like first a facade of 2x2s with a little mantle, and then underneath an electric fireplace, and then put reclaimed pallet wood on all of that. And I got the pallet wood, and I got the pieces that were the same width, and I put them together, right? And I pieced them together. But then there's just these tiny little gaps between them, which is fine. You don't really notice, but I notice because I built it, and I'm like, so for this, I brought the wood inside for a couple weeks, let it dry out so it wasn't going to shrink anymore. Then I sorted them by width. Do you care about this? I don't know. You're going to get it. I sorted them by width, and then I took the whole group, and I'm like, okay, the most narrow of the group, because there's a little variation, is this wide. And I set my table saw to that width, and I sent them all through, so that they all have now on one side a cut, a nice straight, really good cut. And then I moved the fence a little bit to just get a tiny bit more, and ran all of the wood through the other side. So now all of them have a brand new straight cut edge, and they're all the same width. And what that did was put an awful lot of sawdust on the floor and a whole lot of little strips of wood on the floor. A lot of little strips on the floor. So, but like, it was nice. And so you can, there's no gaps. So now, in case you're wondering, what is shiplap? Shiplap is where, rather than having flat edges, right? It's a half, it's like a tongue and groove, tongue and groove, where you've got the groove and the tongue and they fit together like that. Shiplap is like, rather than tongue, right? This is 3 parts. You got the top part, the bottom part, and the middle, right? The tongue. It's this. So you've got just a little overlap on the top and a little overlap on the bottom on this side. Then the next one here, this board here that used to have the bottom, the opposite side has the top that's there sticking out a little bit. So when they sit there, they overlap a little bit. And so you can't see what's behind it. Anyway, so what I did on this then is I put up I put up a 2x2 facade, and I spray painted all the wood black, and then I put in the 1.5 inch thick foam insulation, and spray painted that black. So everything behind it is black. So if there's little gaps between there, there's no light to come through anyway. So anyway, how's that? Did you care? If you're into woodworking a little bit, maybe that was cool for you. Chris Hoffman says Fabsoid's post-nut clarity. He realized not flat. Oh my gosh. Shedsy49 says Damascus has enough sock accounts to cry/whine in first, second, third, and fourth person. Yes, he does. Raf952 says green screen. You're in Antarctica, aren't you? I'm not. I was last year. Coming up on 1 year. So Raf952, is 952 the area code of your phone? Are you in Minnesota? It's Minnesota area code. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do today. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you're in the U.S. and if you're not in the U.S., have a wonderful Thanksgiving anyway. Did my cousin ever make it back? No, nobody said. His mom's like already redecorated the room, and she's like, I finally get to use my shed in the backyard for other stuff. So she's happy for it. Hey, what do you got, Penguin? Oh my gosh. Penguin just got this out of the garbage. It's a piece of wood with some, I don't know what's on it. All right. Stop. What are you looking for? Get out of there. Get out of there. Oh, Penguin, you silly kid. All right. Oh, Raph. There it is. Right-wing vegan. YouTube must have changed things. Yes. Okay. I know right-wing vegan. He was in Chicago. He's been to 3 meetups. Pat in the chat's been to 3 meetups. Matt Shedsy? 3? Who else has been to 3? Oh yeah. I know. I won't say your name. I know you drive a Tesla, been to 3. Has anybody been to 4? I don't think anybody's been to 4. So anyway. Oh yeah, CJ Lamro is in the chat. If you're on Facebook, CJ had posted a video of going for a walk, which was really cool, a really good thing. So there it is. Okay, that's what I'm missing. So Cubby. I got to add this now. Hold on. The Cubby Please Help video. I did not get set up correctly. I'm about to set it up so that you can do it. Yes. And all the Damascus socks are going to get the treatment that they need. Oh, where's Cubby? Where's Cubby? Hold on a second. Do I have it? Do I not have it? Cubby Bear Special? That I don't have it. Oh my goodness. Maybe I can grab it quick. Hold on a second. How do I not have it? I saw it earlier. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna use it, you know, but I didn't set it up correctly. Is that Harnold or is that? Oh yeah, that's not gonna do anything here. Is that Harnold or is it? I think it is Harnold. Do. Dick Wayne. Really? Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, so Dick Wayne did get a timeout for making fun of somebody's medical issues. Yeah, you don't need to do that. So, all right. I'm trying. There, that's it. There it is. I got it. Okay. Here it comes. Pasting the link in. Getting it downloaded. It's coming. I'm sorry. Yeah, you know, this is what you get for a professional. Because that's definitely me. All right, there it is. It's downloaded. It's there in the folder. Ha. Now, almost there. Almost there. Please help, Cubby. There it is. I got it. I got it queued up, ready to go, people. All right, finally. Sorry for all the big delay. I hope it's worth it. It is tonight. It is worth it. It was so amazing. And remember, old man Yamaha, you lie. The earth is not flat. You need to repent instead of telling other people to. Anyway, everybody, we'll see you next week. Have fun.
His beard like a thick, his hair overgrown, a Wookiee reflection in the dark all alone. He longs for warm ceilings, for walls to be made, apple flavor comfort from the tractor store trade. In the arms of compassion, hear his fragile song, help insulate the shadows, help him find where he belongs. You can bring Cubby hope, please help him. For only $1 a week, you can help make sure Cubby never runs out of apple-flavored horse paste from the Tractor Supply store. And maybe even gets a proper ceiling in his damp, moist basement studio of truth.